Long ago, in the heart of a forgotten galaxy, there was a legend that whispered through the stars. It told of a massive armada, the Parasite Fleet, abandoned by a lost alien race. This fleet was said to drift forever, hidden in the deepest corners of space, where no star had ever shone. One day, a group of brave space scavengers, known as the Star Seekers, ventured into the black void, searching for forgotten treasures. They heard the whispers of the Parasite Fleet and decided to find it. After weeks of travel, they stumbled upon the fleet, floating silently in the cold emptiness of space. The ships were ancient, covered in strange, glowing symbols, and seemed lifeless at first glance. Yet, as they boarded the largest vessel, something felt off. The air was thick, and the walls pulsed with a soft, rhythmic thrum, like the beating of a heart. The scavengers ventured deeper into the ship, drawn by an unknown force. They soon discovered the truth: these ships were not abandoned. They were alive. The ship's insides began to move, their walls shifting and stretching. The scavengers realized the truth too late: the ships were hungry, and the scavengers were their next meal. As the shadows grew darker, the fleet stirred, ready to consume them. The scavengers tried to flee, but the ship's corridors twisted and stretched, as if they were alive, guiding them deeper into the heart of the vessel. The walls seemed to pulse, emitting strange, low hums that made their bones ache. It was as if the entire fleet was a single, massive creature, hungry for the warmth of living beings. One of the scavengers, Quill, the leader of their group, noticed something unsettling: the symbols on the walls weren't just decorative. They were instructions, guiding the ship's movements. They were ancient, forgotten codes, left behind by a long-lost civilization, but Quill didn't have time to decipher them. The ship was closing in on them, its massive steel walls constricting. They reached the heart of the vessel, where they found the source of the ship's life, the core, an enormous pulsating orb of energy, surrounded by strange alien artifacts. These artifacts, Quill realized, were part of a long-forgotten race. The core was feeding on their very life force, keeping the ships alive, and it had been doing so for millennia. But the scavengers weren't alone. The core was awakening, and it craved more. The ships had been waiting for new blood to feed on. They were not just ships. They were predators of the stars, driven by an ancient hunger. As the walls closed in and the scavengers could no longer escape, Quill realized the terrible truth: the Parasite Fleet was not just a legend. It was alive, and it would never let them leave. The scavengers, trapped in the heart of the Parasite Fleet, could feel the weight of the ancient hunger closing in around them. Quill, determined not to let the fleet claim them so easily, looked around for a way to fight back. But the walls, the core, and the very ship itself seemed to be one single, monstrous entity. Every attempt to escape was thwarted by the shifting, living corridors, and the strange humming grew louder, almost deafening. In a desperate bid, Quill reached for the alien artifacts surrounding the core. They were relics, ancient tools of the forgotten race who had created the fleet. He didn't understand their function, but something told him they were the key. He grasped one and felt a sudden surge of energy shoot through him. The walls stopped moving. The hum paused. For a fleeting moment, everything went still. The other scavengers looked at Quill in awe, but it was too late. The core, sensing the disruption, lashed out. The walls began to constrict again, faster than before. Quill realized the only way to stop the fleet's hunger was to sacrifice the artifacts to the core, feeding it enough energy to shut it down, but that would cost them their lives. With no other choice, Quill hurled the artifact toward the core, and in that instant, the entire fleet froze. The ships went silent, their hunger momentarily sated. The scavengers, battered but alive, looked at each other, knowing they had become part of the ship's endless cycle. As the fleet drifted back into the void, Quill's last thoughts echoed through the cosmos. The Parasite Fleet lives on, waiting, hungry. And the legends, they never truly end. And so, the legend of the Parasite Fleet lived on, whispered among the stars, always waiting for the next soul to stumble upon it.